You want to know the most profitable business that can make you thousands or potentially millions of dollars in the shortest amount of time? It made this guy $320,000 a month and made this guy $1 million in his first 6 months. And he only started last year in 2022. And it also made this 25-year-old $75 million in just 5 years. That's a ridiculous amount of money. And not only will it make you lots of money, but it's arguably the safest business to have in any market condition. And I call this email blogging, or old-fashioned newsletters. Alright, so what's a newsletter? I think everyone already knows this. But essentially it's an audience list that you build with the purpose of making millions from it when it reaches a certain size.
Time I send an email, I make around $5,000, which is more than I was making in a whole month of working full-time as a doctor.
And what do you think when you hear the word newsletter? Boring? Unsexy? Well, today I'm going to prove you wrong and blow your socks off. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why I love this business model and the millions of ways that you can make money from it and how to start this business even if you have zero audience. And make sure you stick around till the end because I'm going to be sharing you some hacks because you can start making money sooner than you think. Alright, I know we're all obsessed with social media. Everywhere you go, people are talking about being on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. But the truth is the highest conversion rate is with email newsletters. And there was a study recently by McKinsey that found that newsletters acquired 40 times more customers than social media. Newsletters generated 174% more conversions than Facebook or Instagram. And the average open rate for an email newsletter is 25%, where the average reach for a Facebook post is just around 6%. So let's say you have 10,000 email subscribers and 10,000 Facebook fans. Your email would have reached 2,500 people while your Facebook post would have been seen by just 600 people if you're lucky. So you see, when done right, email will give you a much better ROI. And why is this the case? Well, if you're in someone's email list, you've given explicit permission to be on that list. And we all trust our inbox. And notice all the big guys, all the gurus that you follow, everybody has an email list. Alright, so a couple of things I love about a newsletter. Number one, it's free to start. Whereas if you start a YouTube channel, you may need a camera, lighting, hard drive, but newsletter, $0. And you're not going to lose money doing a newsletter. And number two is low friction. So a TikTok or a YouTube channel is hard to start. Some people are shy in front of the camera. You have to write the script, shoot the video, and edit it afterwards. It's a lot of work, it's a big commitment. And number three, you own your audience. And this is huge. If you're building an audience on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, you're essentially building a house on rented land. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 million or 10 million subscribers, you don't own the audience. What's relevant today might not be relevant tomorrow. Look at MySpace, Snapchat, and who knows what will happen to TikTok one day. And you know what? Every year, everybody's saying email is dead. But you know what else happens every year? All these social media channels that we all love and dedicate our time in, they're putting up walls between us creators and our audience. And you even have to pay to reach your own audience. But then again, since you're playing on people's platforms, they can make up any rules that they want. But with your own newsletter, you own everything. So you want to build your influence without being vulnerable to algorithm changes that can happen anytime. It's kind of like insurance in case something happens to social media. And Tobias, the CEO of Shopify, said that the email is the last thing we have total control over, because email is our own platform. And number four is that a newsletter is an asset that you can monetize a million different ways. And this is the juicy part. So how do you make money from newsletters? Number one, brand sponsorships. So once you get a good amount of subscribers, you can start reaching out to brands for sponsorship deals. And here's a fact. A buddy of mine runs a newsletter talking about dogs, and he's got about 50,000 subscribers. He charges between $3,000 and $5,000 per email for brand sponsors. So if he sends a newsletter every week, that's 4 times a month. It means that you can make between $12,000 to $20,000 in brand sponsorships alone. And what's great is that once you get the ball rolling, a lot of these brands will work with you on a recurring basis, which means that you can get paid every week or every month. It's predictable, and I like that. And another way to make money is through affiliate marketing. So if you have a newsletter about dogs, you can plug in affiliate links in your newsletter and earn a commission when someone clicks on the link and makes a purchase. And you don't want to underestimate this, guys. So if you're in a gardening niche, for example, and someone buys a high-ticket item like a lawnmower, those commissions can add up pretty quickly. And another way you can monetize is by running an ad network on your newsletter. So if you go to any cooking blog, you'll probably see that these websites are covered with ads. Well, did you know that you can run the same type of ads as well on your newsletters? So an app like Beehive has started to integrate this on the system. So if you use them to send your newsletters, you have access to these tools as well. And the next way is to have a premium newsletter where you charge a monthly fee for someone to be a subscriber. So you would probably start with a free one, and later you can start a separate premium newsletter. And this is actually pretty common in the investment niche, where people would pay maybe around $15 to $20 a month to join a newsletter where a creator shares his own investment portfolio and his stock picks, and even allow his audience to have private access and ask questions. And you can basically do this in any niche. If you find that you can give extra value to your audience, you can definitely charge for it, and people will pay. So think about that for a second. If you just have 1,000 people subscribe to your $10 a month newsletter, that's $10,000 a month. And you know how I feel about things that are recurring, right? Alright, if you're liking this content so far, please click like and subscribe down below. Alright, so the next step is to find something to write about. So people always say, I don't know what to write about. Well, you can actually write about whatever you want, but you gotta choose something you care about. If you love tech or gadgets, you can write something about the latest Apple products or latest Samsung phones. Or if you're a mom, you can write about your experiences, tips and tricks on how to raise a child. Or maybe you can simply write down 5 things you find interesting during the week, whether it's books, gadgets, or hacks that you find, and put that into your newsletter. And that's exactly how Tim Ferriss started with his newsletter that grew to 2 million subscribers. But if you really have no idea what to write about, you can even curate from other sources and create a newsletter. So just like this guy Shan Puri, he gathers crypto news from other sources and simply put them into his newsletter, and he called it the Milk Road. He doesn't do market predictions, there are no deep dives, just a curation of crypto news, and he delivered it in a very fun and casual way. Just like a conversation you'll have with a friend over a beer. And he grew his audience from 0 to 250,000 in just 1 year. And he later sold the newsletter for $1 million. And this was even after the crypto crash. So my point is, you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be a curious human and be consistent with it. Alright, now once you've decided on a topic you want to write about, you want to use a tool that can deliver the newsletters. You don't want to be writing every week, 52 times a year. So you want to use an automation tool like Beehive. So you can batch produce your newsletters and schedule them to be sent every week. So if you're just getting started, I would recommend using Beehive. I use it personally, and it's so easy to use, and it's completely free. And it's also used by the Milk Road, so the big guys are using it. And it also allows you to sell premium subscriptions. You can put ads on your newsletters, and everything I just said earlier you can do with Beehive. And again, it's completely free to start if you click on the link below. And you can upgrade once you get some traction. You can get the premium plan, which gives you a custom domain, and you can use it without the Beehive branding. So I'm not sure how long the free account is going to be available for, so just to be safe, just sign up first and think later. It's free anyway. Now I know what you're thinking, I don't have any audience, how do I start? Well, everyone has social media, right? So even if you don't have a lot of followers, use your own social media as a starting point. Everyone has to start somewhere. And once you do that, another great way is by going to Facebook groups. So if you're in the parenting niche, you can search for parenting in Facebook, and you can check if there's any audience for the topic that you want to write about. So once you find these groups, you can join them, you can provide some value, and eventually get the audience to your newsletter. But remember to bring value first, and people will naturally follow you. Now, once you've grown to about 500 subscribers, then you can do something more sophisticated called collabs. So this is one of the hacks I use as well to bring massive results. So you can browse websites like Substack and find other newsletters with similar size as you, and basically ask them to do a subscriber swap. So you can simply write an email saying, hey, I have a newsletter with 500 subscribers and I'm wondering if you'd like to cross-promote and grow our list together. Here's what I have in mind to put on yours, and you can tell me what you want to put on my newsletter. You make it stupid simple. And since it's a win-win for both parties, I can guarantee you that 9 out of 10 they'll say yes. There's no money involved, there's no friction. So do this over and over again until you make millions of dollars. Alright, so I'm gonna give you a bonus tip to get more signups faster. So the trick is, you gotta give people a reason to subscribe. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, oh my god, I can't wait to subscribe to your email list. Or, ooh, email, I want more email. People generally don't want more emails. You need to let people know why they should subscribe. So you gotta have what I call an irresistible freemium, or some people call it ethical bribes. You gotta have an offer that's so good that people want to join your newsletter. And your offer has to contain 3 things. Number 1, it needs to solve a problem. Number 2, it has to be high value. And number 3, it has to have one quick win. So something that should help them achieve something quickly. So for example, if you're in the travel and points niche, you can probably say something like, how I flew to Japan in business class for $53. Or if you're in the parenting niche, you share a quick hack on how to stop your baby from crying in 5 seconds. Like, who doesn't want that? And Hormozi said in his book, make your offer so good, people will feel stupid for saying no. Alright, I'll make it super easy for you guys. If you want a guide that gives you examples of the best ethical bribes, you can download it for free down below. You see what I did there? But seriously, it's a guide that you can really download for free down below. Alright, if you guys are interested in a deep dive on how to make money with newsletters, comment down below, and if enough people comment, I'll make another video and I'll teach you how to reach out to brands for sponsorship deals and how to run the business on autopilot. Look guys, we're in a war for attention. Once you can get someone's attention and build a strong community for them, there are millions of ways you can make money. It will blow your mind. So I think you're crazy for not starting a newsletter.